start with one of my wider blades. It's not the coarsest blade that I have, but it's one of my wider ones. And the technique is you just want to pull your hair up, get some of your longer coat, and the trick here is to be able to lay the comb right up against the hair, balance it against your thumb, so you're supporting the hair against the comb. And the trick here is to not turn your wrist this way, that's cutting the coat. You want to just pull straight back, and you want to pull in the direction that the coat lies. And as you can see, it just comes straight out of the pores because it's just dead coat. And I'm just going to pull this long hair out, and it's basically like a rowing motion, and you're just coming back and forth, back and forth. Don't bend your wrist. Bending your wrist actually cuts the coat, and we don't want the coat cut. We just want these hairs removed. So we're just going to go through this and remove all these long hairs on top. And this particular breed, the Border Terrier, is probably one of the easiest breeds to do the hand stripping on because there's no pattern to this breed. All of the hair, everything that's long gets removed. So you really can't make a mistake here because there's no transitional lines that you need to maintain. If there's long hair, it just comes off. They're a very tight-bodied, tight appearance breed, according to the breed profile. So this is a good breed for a beginner because you don't have to really worry about messing up any transitional lines going from a shorter coat to a longer coat like you would maybe on a wire-haired Fox Terrier or a West Highland White Terrier. So the Border Terrier is one that is really a good beginner dog to start working with for hand stripping. So as you can see, I'm just taking and I'm just putting it against my thumb and the stripping knife, a little bit at a time. And if I needed texture, if I needed some grip, I could put the rosin powder in. And there's also another technique where when I'm trying to, as you can see, this is just dead and it just sort of comes right out, and he's not being affected by it at all. And you can also see that the coat is starting to lie down a little tighter, and that's what you're looking for. The other reason you also want to do the hand stripping versus clippering is he's rich in color. All of his color has stayed pretty dark and pretty vibrant. If I had done clippering with him and removed all this top coat by clippering, I would be leaving all the undercoat. And the undercoat is the soft coat. It's also a different color. I'm going to show you what carding looks like, and I can show you what the undercoat looks like by the carding. So the coat that's going to come out of here is basically the soft downy undercoat, and I'd want most of that out of here as well. But you can see it's a different color, it's softer, it's duller, it's not quite as jet black. So if I had clippered off all this top coat, this is what I would be left with, and this would be a dilution of his coloring, and it would also start changing the texture of his coat. And as you can see, it's really soft, and because it's soft, that could also be matting. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to try to maintain the texture of the wire coat. A lot of owners are not supportive of having this done because it does require a little bit of maintenance. It does require some consistency and regularity, and a lot of groomers are not aware of how to even do this process. So it's hard for an owner to even find a groomer who can do this, and the ones that can have a tendency to charge generally considerable more money than to just clipper the dog. For obvious reasons, clippering's a lot faster. But this actually maintains a lot better look for the dog if you can get the clients to bring the dogs in frequently enough to have this done. So this is one of the techniques that we would use. And once you've done the stripping knife, you can come back through with what we call stoning. These are also stones that will come along and do a little bit of the carding work like the Furminator did. I'll do a little bit of the stone work just to bring out some of the dead coat underneath as well. It's pretty much the same process as what I just did with the stripping knives. When you get to the finer areas, like say around the ears, because the ears are very, very soft, it's a very soft coat here. It's not nearly as coarse as it is on his body. We would use the finer stripping knife. As you can see, it's got very, very tiny, tiny blades to it, tiny teeth. Same technique, just a smaller blade to use with. And I'm just going to come and remove the hair, the long hair off of his ears. Nothing changes. I've just changed to a finer stripping knife. And the carding tools, the Furminator is one of the carding tools that we will use, and it's actually there to help you remove some of the finer coat underneath. So again, you would just pull out the fine coat with your Furminator to do some carding with this. Any of the soft downy stuff underneath can be removed. So that's my carding. I want to get some of the soft downy coat underneath because my stripping knives will not grab that, and I want to get this coat to lay down tight against his body.